In this lesson, we're going to create the monitor for the arcade cabinet. Alright, so we've learned quite a bit already. We've learned how to use shapes, we've learned how to use the modifier stack, how to manage and create detail, also how to make two elements one, and even attaching multiple objects. Now what we want to do is we want to start looking a little bit more into the modeling tools and things like that. And so one of the most commonly used modeling tools is Extrude. So what I want to do here is I want to go ahead and take all three of these polygons. So hold down Control and left click on those three, and let's extrude those down. Okay, so to extrude, we're simply going to come in and we're going to use this extrude tool. Now this is under Edit Polygons Rollout. So go ahead and select the settings, and you'll notice that when we extrude it, extrudes this way out. Now what I want to do is I want to push that into the model. So instead of making this a positive value, let's go ahead and make it a negative value. Notice how that goes into the arcade cabinet, giving us the result that we want here. So let's go ahead and continue. Let me go ahead and push that in at -4 and hit enter, and then let's hit OK. Now what I want to do is I want to take this polygon and I want to inset this. And what it's going to do is it's going to create another polygon on the inside of this. So let's go ahead and use inset. There we go. And let's inset this amount to, let's say, 2. That's going to give us a nice thickness. This is technically going to be the casing around the monitor. All right. So now what we'll do is go ahead and hit OK on that, and then we're going to extrude it one more time, but instead of doing -4, let's do -2. And let's try that one more time. -2, hit enter. There we go. And now we'll hit OK. Now I want this to have a little bit of a bevel. You'll notice that it went straight into the model. Instead of pushing that all the way in that way, let's go ahead and actually scale this polygon down a little bit and resize it some. So let's go ahead and use our scale tool, and let's scale this in. Let's select right into the middle of this. So this is going to scale in the X, Y, and Z direction. Left click and drag and scale that in. And you'll notice that gives us kind of this little edge right in here. So let's go ahead and scale that in just a little bit more. There we go. That looks good. All right, perfect. Now what I want to do is I want to take that polygon and I want to curve that, kind of like an old CRT monitor. So let's do this. Let's go to our Move tool, and what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to hold down Shift and I'm going to drag that out. I'm going to make this its own object again. Let's call this Screen. Hit enter. And let's go to polygon mode. Let's make sure that we select that polygon along the back side there. Now this is still part of the arcade cabinet, okay? Not the screen that we just duplicated out or cloned out. Let's take that polygon and let's hit delete. That's going to remove it completely. Perfect. Now let's select this object, okay, our screen object, and let's add some segments in here because we want to curve this out. So to do this, let's come in and let's go to edge mode. And I'm going to select these two edges, holding down Control to select them, and let's use Connect. Let's zero out our pinch here, and let's bump up the amount of segments that we have. So we're going to set this to 4. Let's hit OK on that, and then I'm going to go to polygon mode. Select these 3 polygons here in the center. What I want to do is I want to pull them straight out in their local direction. Okay, so I want them to come out in this diagonal direction. But you'll notice that I don't have the ability to do that. It comes straight out in the Y direction. That's not something that I want. So to move something in the local direction, you'll need to change your reference coordinate system. So this is set to view. Let's go ahead and set that to local. Notice how the gizmo changes, and now I can pull that straight out in its local Z direction. Okay, now let's take this middle polygon and let's pull that out. Great. So now we've got that nice curved shape. Now I need to curve it in the other direction along this axis. So let's go to edge mode. Let's select this edge, and let's select all of these. Now I can hold down Control and left click on all of those, but sometimes that can get a little tiring, especially if we have a ton more edges. So let's just select this edge right here. Let's hold down Shift and select the next edge in line. this will select that entire ring. Notice that that gives you the same result as selecting this edge and then hitting ring. Just showing you a couple of different ways you can select objects. So now with those edges selected, let's go ahead and go to connect. We're going to go ahead and keep that 4x4. Okay, and let's hit OK. And then let's go to polygon mode, hitting 4 on the keyboard to do so. Let's select this polygon. Let's hold down Shift. Let's select the next one. And then I'm going to hit Grow. Grow will grow the selection adjacent to the current selection. So let's try that one more time. If I select just this polygon and hit Grow, look what happens. It just grows that selection out. So instead, let's select this polygon, hold Shift, select the next one in line, Grow. Perfect. So now that we have that, let's pull it out in the Z direction just a little bit. And then let's select this polygon, hold Shift, select the next one in line, and then pull that one out a little bit. Notice that nice curved shape there. Perfect. So now with that object set there, let's go ahead and change the pivot point. Notice that it's way over here. Let's go ahead and go to Hierarchy, Effect Pivot Only, Center to Object. Perfect. So now I can move that back into my screen area. And let me go ahead and just kind of push that in there. Notice that it's a little too small. Okay, we've got this little bit of a gap right down in here. And that's okay. What I can do is I can simply scale it up in all three directions. And let's make sure that it's kind of penetrating through the casing there of our screen. Perfect. So now we get this nice, neat little shape in there with our arcade cabinet. All right, so what we're going to do in our next lesson is we're going to talk about how to add the joysticks and buttons to this object. And we'll get started with that next.